And good morning one more time, everyone. 710 KNUS. I am Peter Boyles. It's a Tuesday. In for the fellows, December the 30th, 2025. Tomorrow's our New Year's Eve show. 54 will be the high today. I got the hat on. I run a competition with Blake Olson. He's got the hat.
Man,
I know. I got
nice. I'm jealous.
Well,
I'm jealous. That is a nice hat.
A man could wear a hat like this.
That is a big hat.
Imagine.
That thing is huge. And now I'm looking at it again. Wow.
Imagine you walk into a bar with this on.
It depends on which bar.
According to legend and boxing legend, John L. Sullivan, the great John L., would thump the bar and say, "I can whip any man in the world," and start buying beer.
There you go.
I could wear this in about 5 minutes.
Think he could wear that, right, and survive?
John L. could.
Yeah, John L. could. How about you?
Well, not anymore.
No, you would be. I mean, people love that stuff now. That thing is huge. If you weren't listening earlier, I mean, Peter has this stocking cap on. I call it a stocking cap.
No.
You know, my kids laugh at me, but, you know, they're called beanies or whatever. I don't know if that constitutes
it's
as
not a beanie. I have beanies. I have beanies with biker stuff on it. But
that is a knit Trojan helmet hat.
It's got a skull on it. It's skulls.
Skull and bones, yeah.
I'm big on skulls.
On the side.
Yeah,
it's like a combination Raider Trojan hat.
Well, we started with you wearing that pumpkin on your head, and I said,
so warm and comfortable.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to wear this puppy. Look at I'll show you next time on my shirt. I got dancing skulls down here, so we're ready. We're doing this government thing this morning. It really is. Mm-hmm. It's working out.
Good show.
Well, yeah, there's some really smart. Last 2 days have been incredibly smart people calling the show.
Absolutely.
What do you want the government to do for you?
As little as possible.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Stay out of the way.
Yeah, just get out of the way.
Yeah.
Just that word that everyone uses. Just if only.
But what? I mean, there's this great moment in the book, The Right Stuff, that Tom Wolfe spoke about the astronauts. Mm-hmm. Lyndon Johnson is in the Houston Space Center, and he's done this so many different times. He goes, "Look what I have done for you," or "Look what I've brung you." And there's a story that he's at Fort Bragg, and the helicopters are spinning, and this young sergeant comes over and said, "Mr. President, your helicopter's over here." And Lyndon Johnson said, "Son, they're all my helicopters." And
isn't that the truth?
Well, yeah, but that's
a good point.
Yeah, the role of government. What?
Yeah.
I mean, and coming up is Ian Escalante. We both know Ian, and
yeah.
So the government comes out of what? I mean, read the history. Early needs to protect or to steal or whatever they're doing. They're still doing it. So.
You know, one of my older brothers, one of the coolest things he showed me was, you know, we used to always watch Our Gang or The Little Rascals, all those repeats. But if you go back so that was what, the 30s? A lot of those
Hal
were in
Roach.
the 30s?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a few episodes where there are people with signs just, you know, mocking and ridiculing anyone who is taking government assistance, which that was kind of that was how we approached it and looked at it as Americans. I mean, when you talked about my grandparents, I mean, they'd talk about that all the time. But it was right in that period when government really started taking over.
We were talking about the immigration, but the immigrants that came here, and I got a sidebar story. They were looking for life, liberty, and pursuit. They weren't coming here from Ukraine or coming here from Ireland thinking that that they're going to be taken care of. They were coming here so they could work.
Yes.
And
exactly.
now we just found my nephew, my brother's youngest, has just become like this total ancestry geek to find out where everybody came from.
Really?
I don't know if you've gotten in. Anyhow.
Oh, yeah.
he found where my grandma was born in Ireland.
No kidding.
Yeah, my brother called me night before last and said, and we always thought it was one.
That's great.
Well, they always didn't talk about it, but
Yeah.
he found out where her name was Rachel, and where she was born, and she was born south of Belfast. Wow. And I always thought she was born someplace else, and they said no. They tracked her down, they got her, and she's south of Belfast, and that's not a good place to be when you're of the other persuasion. But
right
there she was. She mean as a snake.
That's where you get your streak.
Taught me how to read.
That is so cool.
Yeah, Rachel taught me how to read. And
those people are amazing.
Oh, they were. She had, and I just got hearing aids because we were talking about it. She had that hearing aid box, and that was old style.
Yeah.
It was on her chest, around her neck. No,
Really?
she did. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
That's who they were, man. They were Irish,
man.
Oh.
Golly.
You know what Irish Alzheimer's is?
What is Irish Alzheimer's?
You forget everything except who you hate.
I like that.
It is. Oh boy.
That's good.
Oh yeah, that was her.
That is good.
You ready to do the news?
Let's
And then
go.
Escalante. All right, Bubba, it's yours.
All right.
Blake Olson.
Blake Olson, news and comment.
Good Tuesday morning, as Pete filling in for Jeff and Billy this morning and this week. 21 and clear as the sun starting to rise in Denver, expecting a high of 47 today. Going to be a beautiful day, another one. News sponsored by Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning. Give them a call at 303-777-1234 to learn more about special savings opportunities on Lennox equipment. Our top story, DJT delivering warnings to both Hamas and Iran. Speaking alongside Netanyahu, 47 said there will be hell to pay if Hamas doesn't stick to its promise to disarm as part of the Israel-Hamas peace plan. Shifting his focus, the president also vowed that the U.S. would go after Iran if that country tries to build up a missile stockpile and reestablish its nuclear program. But how about the deep state that the majority of Americans want destroyed? Is that happening? John Michael Chambers believes it is, and we just have to be patient, he says.
Data servers are being seized. Evidence chains are locked and mirrored across multiple allied commands. This phase is about containment, isolation, and extraction. Public exposure always comes last. The delay people sense is not hesitation. It is sequencing. You do not announce a takedown while the network is still being rounded up. You cut the exits first. This operation is synchronized with global financial restructuring, asset recovery, and institutional collapse prevention.
So this may be, let's hope, a big 2026. We can only pray here. Heading into the new year, gas prices remain under $3 a gallon on average. AAA says the current national average per gallon is $2.83. Cheapest gas in Denver, Gas Buddy says, is at $1.65 at a Shell on Evans. A transcript related to a closed-door hearing in the case of the man accused of assassinating Charlie Kirk will be released. Judge Tony Graff said the transcript and audio from the hearing will be made public in about 2 weeks after redactions are completed. What's his name? Tyler Robinson was in court yesterday in Utah. Candace Owens, who continues to investigative reporting, went on late last night on X to summarize where she is in her investigation. Ian Carroll joined her along with numerous other podcasters to talk motives and all the mud being thrown around to her.
the broader consideration here is that Turning Point USA is just telling a lot of lies, and you don't tell a lot of lies. The whole world got behind Turning Point USA when Charlie got shot. Like there wasn't a single person who was not rooting for Turning Point USA on September 11th. Okay. And now we're at a place where it actually feels like the whole world is rooting against Turning Point USA, right? Well, the TikTokers are not liking Erica. The people online are not liking Erica. They feel like, I'm sorry, but are we going to pretend that whole AmFest thing wasn't just like weird? Like we're popping up tents of like where somebody died. Like, I don't know. That's weird.
I agree. Colorado's oldest living resident, Chuck Kavalek, is celebrating his 107th birthday this month. The World War II veteran is sharing some advice.
Everything that's happened before and behind you, it's all gone. It's all gone. Look forward every day. Never look back.
Kavalek is still living independently and was recently honored for his World War II service. Born in 1918, Kavalek served as a B-29 bomber instructor and later managed retail stores while raising a family. He credits his longevity to daily walks, never smoking, and staying active. Earlier this month, he received a standing ovation at a veterans breakfast in Loveland, along with an aviator statue with his name and service dates on it. That is so cool. L.A. Kings at the Avalanche last night. Avs up 2-1 in the second.
Yeah, Riker, are we talking about human advance or hockey advance? Nelson with a shot. He scores! Brock Nelson, top shelf. On a quick play up the ice, odd man rush and Nelson.
And the Avs win it 5-2 the final. Thank you, Moj. Now 29-2-7. Nuggets in Miami last night.
Jokic turns on Adebayo. Basket counts and a foul.
Jokic had 21, but the Nuggets burnt by the Heat, 147-123 the final. It's 19 in Parker, 20 in Lone Tree, 21 in Denver. You're waking up with Jeff and Billy, and Pete is in with his cap, his winter cap, and he continues right now. Blake Olson, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Your 710 5-day forecast. Clear skies with light winds for our early Tuesday. Morning temperatures in the mid-20s. Highs low to mid-50s for Tuesday afternoon. Going to have light winds with lows lower 30s Tuesday night. New Year's Eve and New Year's Day mostly in the lower 60s. Some additional cloud cover into Thursday. Lows middle and upper 30s with a few light rain showers over the metro late Thursday into early Friday. Otherwise, sunny to end the work week. Meteorologist Don Watzel and the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
Here we go again. It is a Tuesday morning. Ian Escalante will be with us at 9:15 this morning. I apologize. December the 30th, tomorrow's our New Year's show, 2025, and then it goes 26. And when it does, new laws are enacted in the state of Colorado courtesy of your government, and in particular, more firearms laws and gun show requirements. And we'll have Ian and a couple other guys try to explain it. But it triggered this question, and we've had good responses. I'll read the wall before everything else. What's the role of government? What do you want government to do? The history of governments, the role of government. And what do you want government? But you want government to take care of you, because that's certainly the direction we're headed in. And as I've said, history has these incredible lessons, and one of them is been dubbed the fascist or fascism sweet song of "I will take care of you." Once you start down that line, "I will take care of you," then I can tell you what you need to do for me to take care of you. And you hear it everywhere. There's books you can't read, things you can't see, things you can't eat, you can't do this, you can't go there. And why? Well, I'm taking care of you. And government, so when the Democrats, one of the things that struck me show prepping is proclaiming that housing is a right. I mean, that's significant. Housing is a right, and your Second Amendment right. Well, not being infringed, we're going to infringe. How can the government do these things? So what do you want the government to do? The role of the government is to do what for you? 303-696-1971. I'll read a bunch to you. We were talking about Lauren Boebert thinking she was going to beat and moved. Very smart. For Lauren Boebert to move, hands down, smart. This is from, this one says, this is the beginning stages of Marxism, communism, from each according to his ability to each according to his need. That's the final sentence, by the way, in the manifesto. The redistribution of wealth and the abolition of private property. This one, the money that law-abiding citizens pay in taxes, the absolute lack of accountability of the way it's spent is the problem. We hand out money to people that are here illegally and can't fill in a pothole. Government's role is to sustain itself. So 303-696-1971. I know it's an interesting question, but it's important when we see what's about to happen the day after tomorrow. If you're a Second Amendment advocate, if you're remember, the second, I think, is interesting. The full text of the Second Amendment is a couple of sentences. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. Interesting term, free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Day after tomorrow, infringement again takes another step. And the right to understand this, despite this being called a right, it is the right that the framers gave you and I, and you have to go to the government to ask permission for this amendment. And they curtail things. They're tightening things up closer and closer and closer. So I want to hear from you, 303-696-1971. What do you think the role of government is? What do you want it to be? And when you see things like we talked about this absolute idiot that's the mayor of the city, how he's destroyed it. This guy, I mean, he ruined what was left of downtown. They ruined, and now you see these, on the bridges, you see the homeless camps set up. Oh, and by the way, the empathy of the television, I'm trying to look for the next real cold day, and I don't see it on the schedule. But you'll get a real cold day. What's the first thing you'll see? Channel 9 or somebody come out and do a story on the poor people that are freezing to death out there. Well, what do you think in like the year, take 1800 or 1812 or something, and there were people that were cold in this country, sure as hell were. Did they go to the government and say, please take care of me? No. I mean, I don't know if that was good or bad. You tell me. But the role of government to establish order, provide security, promote what? All right, back to the wall again. This one says the role of government is to uphold justice, especially to honor the law of God. Well, I'm not so sure. But we know that's been chucked. So I will take care of you, and you have a government that will get more power. Oh, of course. I mean, that goes without saying. As soon as somebody says, I'll do this for you, first thing you need to ask is, what do you want? And so when these people start to tell you they will feed you, they will house you, they will clothe you, well, and then now you become childlike. And any of us who have been parents, grandparents, he can't read that. He can't. Don't take him. He's too young for. No, come on, stop. That's the government. And the state. Well, why? And by the way, another one of my. Why is it so normal that this country, my country, can interfere, sabotage, and disrupt other countries? We're watching it right now. Why is it so normal in our country? The USA can interfere, sabotage, and really disrupt other nations. Why? Back to the wall again. The role of government is to not to terrorize communities with the National Guard and ICE. However, I don't see any law that takes away your rights of gun ownership. Oh, come on, please. There is nothing. Please call the show. I like the text. There's nothing in the Constitution that says you have the unlimited supply or a type of gun. All it says is you can have the right to bear arms. Agreed. Totally agreed. That's why you should call the show and we should talk about it. This one. The media was the best thing progressives ever got. I wish you would call the show and explain that. Those are two good text messages. The media was the best thing that progressives ever got, and the role of government is not to terrorize communities with the National Guard and ICE. However, I don't see any of that law. I mean, the government has done the kind of things that are going on and have gone on. I think they outweigh the NGs and ICE. And there's nothing in the Constitution that says, I like this text a lot, that you have the unlimited supply or right or type of gun. No, I mean, they look to the texter. Those men were not talking about hunting rabbits and hunting white-tailed deer. They were talking about the government coming after them. To use policy, here's the next one. To use policy to deliver the best quality of life to as many people as possible. Again, I wish you'd call the show. To use policy to deliver the best quality of life, meaning take care of a street addict, take care of a junkie, give a junkie a place to, he's going to shoot junk. So my job is then to give you a house and 3 hots and a cot when you're ready to eat and supply you with what? What's the government supposed to do? The Supreme Court established, there was a landmark, and I read about it last night, 2008 District of Columbia versus Heller. The Second Amendment protects an individual's right to possess a firearm. This is one of those mornings, there's a lot of text messaging. Another one, people have basic misunderstanding of what a right is. A right is something you possess that doesn't obligate others to you. Your right to free speech doesn't obligate me to provide you a platform or even time to you. That is why health care is not a right. That's very well said. Again, another text. The progressives at CBS News are so mad at the liberal at a liberal lesbian in a same-sex marriage, but not cool and hip for the gray lady. I'll just read them to you. This one, then we'll go to the phones. Hello, I'm not a liberal, but can our country really afford to deal with poverty and homelessness like Honduras does? I don't know what Honduras does. I've been in Honduras a lot of times, but I don't know what the Hondurans do. We're doing phones coming, lighting up, 303-696-19. Are we ready to do this? We can do it. You say the word. Jimmy's got the con. All right, there we go. Here we go. All right. Diane in Denver, thank you. You're on the show, and good morning.
Okay, what do I want the government to do for me? I want infrastructure. I want clean water. I want less crime. We need more courts and we need more judges. It's ridiculous that how the courts are so backed up, and it takes 2 or 3 years to finally get through a case. And Pete, I don't think the White House rules. I think the Pentagon rules. Almost $1 trillion budget.
Well, that's the industrial complex. That's the military-industrial complex.
Exactly. And I'm not for a bloated Pentagon budget. I mean, I'm not for us sending arms to Israel to kill Gaza people,
Sure. But why, if I could, why is it so normal now that our country can interfere and sabotage and disrupt other countries? We're what are we? How many countries are we right now? We bombing? How many countries are we I mean, that's my point. Like we got the Venezuelans going. We got, I think, is it Nigerians we got going?
Yeah, I know it.
What do you
I mean, you know, America used to be the land of milk and honey, but no more because of globalization. There's no nation that is.
I think you're right. I think there's a lot to it. So, one real question, we're going to jump. What do you want the government to do for you personally?
To make sure that I have clean water, I have safe infrastructure, and I have a decent court judicial system. Our judicial system is just as bad as our healthcare system.
You got it. Good. Thank you, ma'am. Let's go here. It's been a while. Aaron, man. God, it's good to hear your voice.
Hey, what's going on, Peter, man? Well, of course it's been a while, man. I'm a working stiff sucker, taxpayer.
Talk to me.
I'm a working stiff sucker taxpayer. You know, the role of government, we have this country's in trains and trains and trains and trains and trains and trains of just insanity of debt. The role of government, balance a budget. Live within your means.
Well, that went out the window a long time ago. Deficit spending, but but what? Tell me what you. It's what or maybe what you don't want the government to do to you is a better question. What don't you want them?
I just don't want to be feed to death, taxed to death.
No, and you are.
Yeah, I am. I mean, here in Colorado, I just got this bill in about this sidewalk fee and this fee and that fee. And of course, I voted against that because it's not in my budget. And then then your property taxes are out of control. I mean, everything in this affordability stuff. Is it the role of government to make sure the cost of living, Peter, is affordable?
Well, again, the government, the government.
Here we go. And of course you got the walking, talking bag of nuts in New York City, thinking that trying to control in New York City and all this stuff. That's not the role of government. That's the role of free market, Peter. Let the free market does what the free market, not some bureaucrat, some nutbag, some far left nutbag in New York City or California or here.
How about the one that struck me, and I actually wrote it on the worksheet? You have a right to housing.
It's not. Of course, that's not a right. Not a right at all. It's not in the Constitution. Same with the health care. That's not a right. Health care is a privilege, and that's just from reading history. House is not a right. That's just from knowing history of housing in this country and before this country ever existed, Peter. It's just being a student of history.
No, of course. The woman sent me the text, don't do history. Well, you have to do history. You have to understand, where governments came from and why they showed up. What was the role of government? And and again, if the body politic, if the people, if the populace doesn't buy into the government's through. And right now, I look at the government, especially local government, the mayor and the state of Colorado. But if I don't buy into them, and you think about that, no government works without a buy-in from the populace. And you ain't buying in, and it doesn't sound like I'm buying in.
Oh, no. I was thinking about it because I was thinking about you, and I said, well, Peter's going to be on this week, and I'm thinking, Peter, you have conversations. You have a grandson, right?
Yeah.
You have conversations about him, and you're probably thinking, well, man, am I leaving my grandson?
You know what? Every old guy that I know, we have this question. We have an answer. What are we leaving behind?
Yeah, exactly. I don't have any grandkids, but if I did, and my grandkids were talking to me, he said, "Well, what's going to happen?"
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Love it. Got to pause. Good to hear your voice, Aaron. We have Aaron's lines open, 303-696-1971. To rob and enslave you, it says, and make you. Here it is. Let me read this. The role of government to rob and enslave you and make it seem like you consented to the whole thing. That may be the best of the morning. to rob and enslave you and make it seem like you consented to the whole thing. 303-696-1971. Stay here. There's a line open. Good morning, everyone, on a Tuesday, December 30th, 2025. It's really a text message morning, but we'll get to those because folks are sitting on the phones. The role of government, we start with Frank. Hey, man, you're on the radio show. Good morning.
Hey, Pete, thanks for another good program.
You're kind. Thank you.
I got a topic for you for a future thing, and the question would be the role of America
in the world today.
Yeah.
Well, I brought that up about what is this idea of being able to go to war every afternoon on somebody.
Well, that's one aspect, but my point was that we're one of the younger countries, and we are a totally different experiment with our democratic republic and the trials and tribulations that we're going through, and our media, biased as it is to one side, there are outlets that try to provide a fair and balanced argument for the other side. There's a new book that I just heard on. Kurt Schlichter was in for Hugh Hewitt yesterday, and it's called The American Leviathan.
Oh, I know what a Leviathan.
By Ned Ryan.
Yeah,
the original one was Hobbes, of course.
Right, wrote the
but
Leviathan.
This is the new one, The American Leviathan by Ned Ryan, R-Y-U-N.
I'll look for it.
And he is a good, smart guy, and I think you'll enjoy it.
What was his conclusion? Help me there.
Well, necessary evil on both sides, but not as much overbearing as Hobbes. My thought on this government idea that you brought up is, again, you're right to start with history, and the role is to protect and allow the populace to experience life, liberty, and the pursuit. But at some point, it gets a little out of control, and then we have this wall or bar that the government starts to penetrate, and it goes into regulation. And that's what you're seeing in Colorado and parts like the gun thing that the guy coming up that I don't want to listen to.
And if we remember, I mean, what's significant in terms of always reading history, and you're right, is the framers who guaranteed you this right that people whittle away. The right wasn't to hunt white-tailed deers and rabbits. I mean, that was not what
that. Protect the government.
No, because they feared the government.
Well, it's interesting that fellow you had that you called an interesting caller, and he's going to call you back. Sounds like he's an older guy that's going to law school, and he's waiting to find out if he's going to pass the bar. But he's absolutely right.
Oh, yeah, spot on.
Start thinking about it, because even when we die and leave property to our children, the taxes go on, and you never 100% own your property. It's a fallacy. You still have these costs of the land you live in, the state you live in, the county, etc., to pay to them to provide these services. It's just when politics allows one side to get out of hand that it becomes unbalanced and it becomes painful.
What do you think Jefferson or
my God, they would be rolling.
If someone would have said, President Jefferson, you have a right to housing,
they would be rolling in their grave.
That's right.
And no, they were trying to go for a new thing, and that's what America is, a 250-year-old, as of day after tomorrow, beginning the 250th year experiment. And it's an ongoing thing, and thank God we have the laws and the courts, like the lady said that just called, to try to protect. But they are becoming overburdened, and that's that Cloward and Piven thing that's coming about with these lefties cramming all this stuff to the
One
court.
thing is for sure, there are no guarantees.
Oh, the other book that's great, and you already know about it, is that book called Nudge by Cass Sunstein. The book Nudge. Have you ever read that?
I have not.
Oh, it's so intriguing, and he's a lefty, and I bought the tape, and it sounds so seductive, like that sweet song you talk about.
Sure.
And it sounds like everything is so nice and right, but he's really nudging you the way he wants you to go, which is lefty.
It doesn't work. I'm tired. Thank you, sir. We'll go to one more. We go to Cap in Lakewood. Thank you for calling the show. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Peter.
Hey, brother.
I hope you're doing good.
I'm doing all right.
Yeah, you're one of my favorites.
You're kind.
Hey, the role of government. Wow. First up that I think of is how about they just follow the original federal Constitution? And you're talking about housing too. Here's how I see it. So over a long period of time, which is basically short in a big picture because we're a young country, but if they've created more bureaucracy that the individual taxpayer has to pay more in tax, well, now we have an environment where we can't afford to buy a house. So
oh, look what's
it's like a
happened.
catch-22.
You're absolutely right. They're talking about 50-year mortgages. Now, we've come a long way where the working man could not buy a house after the turn of the century up until there are a couple of things happen. When mortgages appear, the GI Bill, but people could not buy a house. I mean, I come from a long line of renters. You know?
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I'm a renter. See, the weird thing about me is I'm close to 60 now.
Yeah.
But both of my parents were born in 1931.
Mm-hmm.
They were born right when the Depression
Depression
started.
children, that's right. Yeah.
So my father, he goes into the Marines, but he gets out in the 50s. He avoids both wars. Because there was no draft for the Korean War, but he ends up doing carpet, linoleum, and tile, and he makes tons of money.
Mm-hmm.
He buys a house up in Illinois, in Quad Cities.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I grew up. And he ends up having 6 children, a work van all the time. He has a family car. He buys a nice fishing boat because he loves to go fishing.
Sure.
He collected a bunch of motorcycles in the 60s. He used to race dirt bikes with motorcycles. And now I'm doing the same thing. I build houses.
Stop there. Stop there.
But I can't afford
the greatest expansion was after the Second World War, and when the unions were at their height, when the production, the multinationals hadn't gotten their hands on it, the war was over. I mean, we went through McCarthyism and a number of different things, but these were the union men and women who built this country after that war, and the people like Dwight Eisenhower were and Eisenhower was one of them, and then it went to Jack Kennedy, who was also one of them, and there was this great expansion, and then it was destroyed, and everything has its time, everything has its place, but right now, what is your theory on what the government, what you don't want the government to do, Cap? What don't you?
Well, the subject of housing is definitely one.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I mean, I see that as a catch-22. So it's what I don't want them to do is more regulations, I guess. Upon the private sector.
Real quick, because I got a break, if they just cut it loose, deregulated, what would happen to housing?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I suspect it might take off.
I think it would be better for the private sector people to have afford.
No, I agree.
But at the same time, I mean, if you cut it all loose, you're going to have bad players that are going to, especially in the construction business, because I've seen that.
That is the risk, and that's the part of it. I love your call. I got to jump.
The risk of freedom. Yeah.
Thanks, Bob. 303-696-1971. A lot of things to read to you right after this. Morning, everybody. A Tuesday, December 30, 2025 show. Tomorrow's our New Year's Eve show. 710 KNUS Denver's talk station. 54 will be the high. 61 on Wednesday. 62 on New Year's Day. Ian Escalante coming up. We're talking about the government. Sounds like a Bob Dylan song, but governments, again, merge early from human needs, if you look at the history of it, to order and bring order or security or resource management, or people that grew from families, which is the idea of an evolutionary government, to tribes, and then comes force, and always a part of it. There's a force theory that strong individuals or groups used power to dominate other people, and that was the beginning of government. All right, I want to read. The Wall has been really active this morning. This one says 10,000 Americans entering the workforce every day for 25 years. I just read them to you, folks. The Second Amendment was to make sure the government would not attempt a tyranny. That's right. Honduras is not able to provide public housing. The U.S. is and does. And it says, thank God, PC Lakewood. This next one says, the role of government was supposed to be to draft, uphold, and charge the law of the will of the people as represented by their congressman and president. The role of the government, as we have currently elected it to be, to bicker and one-up and fight with one another as a giant distraction from the real problems we face. This one is Boyles. Big Brother's role is not to be a burden on its citizens, and that is why we need a functioning opposing party, unlike the Colorado government, unlike the Colorado GOP, who is impatient as an 80-year-old man. This one is, you're too focused on addicts and not enough on the working poor. Those of us working paycheck to paycheck, and a medical emergency saves from bankruptcy. That's an interesting question, how that happens in the cost of medical care. Next one. People have a basic misunderstanding what a right is. A right is something you possess that doesn't obligate you to, I read this before, doesn't obligate you to others. Your right for free speech doesn't obligate me to provide you with a platform, nor even listen to you, and that is why health care is not a right. All right. 303-696-1971, 7:52. We're coming up on time. We'll sneak a call in here, and then we come back on the other side. We'll do it again. I think Ian's coming on the show. What is the role of government? It's a really interesting question, especially when people talk about all of these things that they now call rights. You're taking my right. You're doing this. You're doing that. What are your rights? I mean, you have life, liberty, and a pursuit of happiness. That's your right. All right, let's take a real quick call. Hey, Jack, you're on the show. We're going to run out of time. Thanks for calling.
I'll be quick. The only thing that was specified when they formed the government as far as what it was required to do, and that was deliver the mail.
Protect. Also, another one was to protect the shores and deliver the mail.
Yeah, the sovereignty. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, sovereignty. But as far as the mail was the only thing they were charged with. And not welfare programs was not in the package.
Oh no, that's my question. It's my point. Is that the role?
No, it's not.
What about taking care of me?
Well, okay. Let me jump ahead of that a little bit. The notion they have is that government's job is how best to manage the masses, and to manage the masses and keep them having an uprising. It gets to being their welfare. They become make sure they're fed and they're housed and they're clothed. And that's based on if people don't have these things, government's afraid that the people, like communists, all fall apart when the people start starving.
You're afraid you're afraid of your population?
That's right.
I got the wall. Thanks, Jack. 303-696-1971. Final, this is a text. Government needs to create a pill that changes brown skin to white. I'll read them to you. Then America will be great again, and we can keep all that cheap labor. Interesting how people think. All right, we ready? Okay, no, not quite yet. All right. So this role of government, and if you look at how government has evolved and what a government has evolved to and from, but indeed, government is probably relatively new in terms of how long, the length of the earth and how long mankind has appeared. But the governments emerge out of human probably the Fertile Crescent, probably a place like Baghdad or somewhere in India, perhaps in China. But the divine right comes early. And one of the things, this is so silly to listen to, yet it is, the idea of a divine right of kings. Divine right is that these people and their children, God loved them, and through a bloodline, made them better than you. So the divine right theory is rulers claim that their authority comes from God, and they can pass that God power through their own bloodlines to their children, particularly their sons. Think about that. They actually believe that, and better yet, still do. These people claim their authority comes directly from God, and their power is passed through their bloodlines to their children, the illegitimate son of the Dauphin. Stay here, 710 KNUS.